What's up guys, it's Mega giving you another deck for Link Evolution. This is a off deck list that we're doing guys, and this is a Danger Dark World. The reason we're doing this is this deck is because I made the deck in my feature match with Joe and Joe. If you didn't watch that duel, it's in the description down below. Where fortunately we lose, we did brick in the final duel, but you can make some incredible boards and it is absolutely fantastic with this deck. It is built for going first and going second. It doesn't really matter which one you choose because it has a lot of power to punch through, and so you can like set up a board with like Appaloosa and Masquerade, Unicorn interruptions, or Harbinger. There's many things you can do to interrupt your opponent. And with that, guys, if you're struggling to make this deck or any deck shown so far, check out the card hub. I'm not going to tell you if the cards in this game or not. I'll also tell you where to find it, such as campaign, challenge mode, or card pack. That does include the new cards added via the update. That's in the description down below, along with my Twitch, where I don't stream as often as I should do. I do apologise on that. I stream whenever I have time, which I don't really have a lot at the moment, but whenever I do, I try my best to get some replays on it and just have some fun playing this game. And with that guys, let's get into the video. Just before we start guys, I would like to quickly say we don't run any like hand traps or interruptions. That's simply because we can't really afford to add them in a deck, because apart from like the draw cards and the discards, you're just realistically just running monsters just to summon on the field as quickly as you can. So unfortunately we just don't have the space. If you want to go over the 40 card limit and go for it, by all means, if you want to add some tech cards like that, but you don't really need it, because as long as you can just like you can keep playing through the negates and all the cards if you have them in your hand, and you just go off from there. So starting us off guys is one copy of Beret, Vanguard of Dark World. Now the reason I'm running only one Beret is because it's just basically a free special summon. You could say, how come I'm not running more than one? It's just simply because I decided to add more dark or more danger monsters, and to not to kind of like make sure this card's effect goes off, and to just keep drawing more cards. You might think, why am I not running more Dark Worlds like Gorilla and all that stuff that keeps like, I think it's Gorilla that keeps popping like monsters and stuff. It's because it's not really more for like popping monsters, like apart from Graph. You don't really pop your opponent's card. You're really just trying to get a monster on the field to there to go into your Xyz and your Link plays. So I say with is it Breach, Vanguard of Dark World, if it's discarded via a card effect, you get a special summon it from the graveyard, and it's not once per turn. So if you add it back to your hand to summon out Graph from your graveyard, you literally can just discard it again to special summon it again. You can take out the next card, which is Zephyrus the Elite, and add in a second Vanguard of Dark World if you want. I just choose not to, and because that's Dark World in its name, Snow does search it out. And then one copy, like I just said, a Black Wing of Zephyrus the Elite. You can target one face-up card you control, bounce it back to your hand, and special summon this card from your graveyard. So if you discard this card with any danger cards or whatever, it's not a dead card in your hand, or if you send to the graveyard like Dark World dealings or card destruction. You see what I mean? It's not a dead card, because you just, whatever you've got like a danger, you just bounce the danger back into your hand, resummon this for a free monster, just play the danger's effect again and special summon it. It's basically all you're doing it for. And also it's great to work with skill drain, so you're not under the effect of skill drain during your turn, so you could still play all your monster effects. There are 3 copies of Huntsman of Dark World. So if this card is discarded by a card effect, you get to draw 1 card in addition to so you get to draw 1 free card. So that is really great. So for instance, if you play something like Dark World Dealings, where you both draw a card and then you discard one, Brow will let you draw another card on top of that. So it's never dead. Again with the dangers as well. If special summon, you get special summon and draw a card. If you discarded Bro, you get to draw another card on top of that. It's just there just to help you mill through your deck. And then 1 copy of Chaos Dragon Levier. This card is easily summoned because you need to banish either 3 light, 3 dark, or a mixture of the 2. Because we're only running pure darks, you never have to worry about like, I may not have the card to summon this. As long as you have 3 monsters in the grave, this card is live, and it has effects based on what you banished. But because we're only running darks, I'll only go through the dark effect, which is you get to shuffle 1 card your opponent has in their hand back into the deck. So if you use Levier on your turn going first, you shut down one card your opponent has, and that one card can make or break their hand. And because it's a level 8, it's great to go into our level 8 link effect or rank 8 Exceeds monsters, and also is an extra monster to go into our link plays. Danger's cards, we're running 3 copies of Danger Bigfoot. It's a rank, it's a level 8, it's the reason why I'm running it 3. Comes in handy. All the Dangers have effects where you can reveal them, choose a card at random. If it isn't the card that you revealed, you get special summon it and draw an extra card. They all have effects that activate should they be discarded. So should Bigfoot be discarded, you get to target one face-up card your opponent has in the field and destroy it. That effect is only once per turn. The special summon effect isn't a once per turn. Please bear that in mind. So if you reveal Danger Bigfoot and you have Graph in your hand and you discard and it shows the Graph, you discard that, especially from the Danger Bigfoot, you get to draw additional card. That is not a once per turn, just so you know. 3 copies of Chupacabra. The reason why I'm running more Chupacabra, you could easily take this card down to 2 if you want and add in like another one to level 8 of Okapogo or Thunderbird. But the reason I decided to run 3 Chupacabra is because of its discard effect. So when this card is discarded, you get to target a danger in your graveyard and special summon it, which is kind of great, because then if you've got a level 8 in the grave, just resurrect it. It really comes in handy. Then 1 copy of Nessie. Should Nessie be discarded, you get to add a danger from your deck to your hand. So realistically, you'll go for like a rank 8 or a level 8, so you can go into a rank 8 play, or if you already got all the cards you need for a rank 8 play, just choose like Jackalope or the Snake one, because then you're guaranteed to get a summon off. And then 2 copies of Okapogo. This card, when it's discarded, lets you send a danger to the graveyard, which kind of does set them up for the Chupacabra, which is just kind of niche. And then 2 copies of Thunderbird. Should Thunderbird be discarded, you get to destroy 1 set card on the field. So Bigfoot deals with face up, and Thunderbird deals with set cards. Really comes in handy. And then 2 copies of Jackalope. In this game, it's not limited to 2, guys. So that's why it's not limited to 1. So that's why we're running 2. So with Jackalope, should it be discarded, you get to special summon any danger from your deck in defense mode. So if you already got a level 8 monster in play, summon out a level 8 danger, 3 rank 8, 3 Hope Harbinger, Dragulon, you name it, go for it. And then 1 copy of Tusinchinko, the snake one. If should this card be discarded, you get a special summon it. So regardless, this card will always be summoned to the field. If you discard a different monster, you get special summon it, draw a card, and if you choose itself, it just gets discarded, then you just resurrect it from the graveyard. That's pretty much what you do. And then 2 copies of Graph, Dragon Lord of Darkwood. I'm thinking, why am I only running 2 Graph? It's because I just don't want to make this deck too cloggy with level 8s that can't do anything. So we are running a few more magics than you would normally. By all means, you can take some of the magics out, because realistically, they're pretty much just all there for drawing. You could take out the beginning of the end and add in another Graph if you really want. So Graph has 2 effects that really come in handy. So it's graveyard effect is expect something from the graveyard by returning a Dark World monster you control back to your hand. So like I say, with like the Vanguard, because it got discarded, it gets special summoned, you just add it back to your hand, special summon Graph from your grave. And also if Graph is discarded by card effect, so basically by the dangers or by one of our spells, you get to destroy 1 card your opponent controls. It's really great, and you can use both effects during the same turn, but the destroyed effect I believe is a once per turn. I don't hold me to that. Then 1 copy of Phantom Skyblaster. It is limited to 1 because it's broken with the Link monsters, because any monster that can generate tokens is considered broken because the Link monsters just abuse them, and that's what Phantom Skyblaster does. So when this card is normal or flip summoned, you get special summon any number of tokens up to the number of monsters you control. So if you only summon this card and it's the only monster, you get to generate 1 additional token, which gives you 2 monsters, which is enough to go into IP Masquerena. Just this 1 card goes into that. That's what I mean. How OP it is. It does have an effect during the standby phase where you inflict 300 points damage for each Sky Blaster monster you control. but you're never going to play that effect because you literally just use this with the tokens to go into higher link plays, and that's pretty much what you do it for. And then 3 copies of Snow, Unlight of Dark World. So if this card is discarded by a card effect, you pretty much get to add a Dark World card from your deck to your hand. So that's why it comes in handy, because this one card lets you search out your Dark World dealings, your Gateway of Dark World, searches out Graph, searches out Bro and Vanguard, you name it, whatever you need in your hand, it will search it for you. That's why it's so good. Going on to some spells, guys. You're rolling 2 copies of Allure of Darkness. It is limited to 2. Otherwise, I would take out another card and add in a 3rd copy, because Allure of Darkness is great. It does banish the card, so yes, the effects aren't going to trigger, but in worst case scenario, you get to draw those 2 cards, and you don't need to worry about any of your monsters, because if you see any one of your monsters, you can just banish them, because all of them are darks. 1 copy of Card Destruction is limited to 1 as well, because the dangers will just make it absolute broken. So both players have discard all cards in their hand, then draw the same number of cards. And because it says the word discard, all of your Dark World's effects activate via this card, all of your dangers effects activate via this card. So if you have, for instance, Bigfoot, Thunderbird, Graph, I don't know, or Snow in your hand. So those are the 4 cards in your hand. Bigfoot will pop a face-up card. Thunderbird will destroy a set card. Graph will destroy any card. Then Snow lets you draw another one. And on top of that, because of card destruction, you draw the cards that you just discarded. That's why it's absolute beast to see card destruction in this deck. And then 3 copies of Dark World Dealing. So each player will draw 1 card and then discard 1. Because there's discard as well, all your Dark World's effect will trigger, or your Danger's effect will trigger. That's why it's great, and it's there just to search out your deck, try and get to the key cards you need to depend on what you want. So for instance, I say you draw a card and you've got that Jackalope in hand. Discard the Jackalope, you get a free summon. Discard the Brow, you get a free card. You see what I mean? It's all about that, just drawing. So all of our spells, apart from Monster Reborn, are pretty much all there just for pure draw power. Then the Dangers draw. This deck can break if you just have too many of the cards and you just don't, or you just get unlucky with the Dangers. But hey, every deck has some form of RNG or some potential to break. Then 2 copies of Dragged Down into the Grave. So each player reveals their hand, chooses 1 card and discard, and then you both get to draw 1 card. So because you're seeing this, you get to see your opponent's hand and try to discard a hand trap or one of their key combos. And because if you have the correct cards in your hand, like for instance, if you've got your magic cards in your hand, you just set them so then you've only got your monsters. That way you're forcing your opponent to choose a card that you want to discard, and then the effects are going to trigger. So that's why this card is just great. And then you get to draw another card, which could be another combo extender. Monster Reborn as a combo extender, pretty much all it says in the tin. If you need a level 4 to go into the rank 4s, if you need a level 8 to go into the level 8, or just a free monster for links, it's there. And then 1 copy of The Beginning of the End. You have to have 7 darks in your graveyard to activate this card. You banish 5 to draw 3 cards. I am thinking of taking this out and putting another Vanguard or another Graph in this deck. So by all means, you don't have to run The Beginning of the End. But it's just there for another in case you need to draw. And then 1 copy of The Gates of Dark World. It's a field spell, so all our fiends gain 300 attack. That we do run a few fiends like Chupacabra, our Dark Worlds or fiends, so they gain 300 attack. And you can banish a fiend from your graveyard to discard a fiend monster, then draw 1 card. Because again, if Chupacabra's in your graveyard or one of your Dark Worlds, you just banish them, discard maybe that key like Snow you got in your hand or Graph, and then you get to draw an additional card, and then you play the monster feather you just discarded. 2 copies of Trading, because we are running quite a few level 8s, for instance like 3 Bigfoot, so 2, 3, 2, 5, 7. We are in 9 level 8 monsters, so you're going to see some level 8. By all means, if you really want, you don't have to play the Dangers effect. You can play Trading to discard it and draw 2 cards, and then the effects will trigger. And it's there just to try and get Graph in the graveyard, so you get to draw more cards. And then 1 copy of Skill Drain, because guys, I ain't gonna lie, this deck doesn't particularly care about Skill Drain, because all of your Dangers effects activate in the hand, or your discarded cards will activate in the graveyard. Skill Drain only affects the field. It doesn't affect your hand, and it doesn't affect your graveyard. So, like for instance, if you got Skill Drain in play and you play Bigfoot's effect to try and destroy your opponent's monster, it will go through because it's activating the graveyard. Grass would go through. The drawing of the cards will go through. It doesn't matter. The only thing this thing actually affects is basically your extra deck. But that's why you're running cards like Zephyros the Elite to bounce the Skill Drain back into your hand, and it's just their incredible card to interrupt your opponent's plays during their turn. And then that's it for the deck, guys. Going on to the extra deck, running one copy of the best Dweller, the best Xyz in the deck, because a lot of decks treat the graveyard as a secondary hand, and Abyss Dweller just shuts them all down. One per turn. You can attach one Xyz tail, and this is a quick effect. Your opponent can activate any card effects in the graveyard. Absolute beast, and we are running quite a few level 4s to go into this card. Then one, Dingirsu, the Orchis of the Evening Star. This is just great for a rank 8 to go into because upon going into this, you get to activate 3 effects. The only one you would be activating is you get to send one card your opponent controls to the graveyard. And that just really comes in handy. Just gets around one of your pesky cards your opponent has. And it has another effect where would any of your monsters be destroyed in battle or by a card effect, you can detach one Xyz material and protect that monster. So it has some protection and protects your other cards where it comes handy. We are running the Numeron Dragon package because we are running Draguon, and so you're never going to summon this card via its effect. You're going to cheese it out, and it has an effect where once per turn you get to detach one Xyz material, and this card gains 1,000 attack for each rank on the field. That does include itself. So with the Draguon or Dragobon, whatever it's called, this thing will be up to 9,000 attack points, and for a rank 1, that's pretty OP. And the only reason you're going to use this effect, you're not going to play it for any other means. We are running one copy of Hope Harbinger, which is a spell or trap negate, because once per turn, should your opponent's activate a spell card, you get to negate it, attach it to Hope Harbinger's Xyz material. It also does have a quick a niche little effect as well, where should your opponent attack, they have to attack Hope Harbinger. So it really comes in handy. And then one copy of Babushka. Again, we are running quite a few rank 4s, especially with the Phantom Sky Blaster. If you are going first and you want to set up a good board to get rid of your opponent, Babushka is a great way to go in first. Should you not have all your cards to go into an Appaloosa or Hope Harbinger, if you only have your level 4s, you can still disrupt your opponent. So, should Babushka be in defense mode, all monsters on the field are swapped into defense mode and their effects are negated. So Babushka doesn't affect Link monsters because they can't go into defense mode, but it does affect all of Synchro, Xyz, Monster, Fusions, you name it, Babushka does negate it. It also has an attack position effect where it can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and it just really comes handy. You are forced to detach an Xyz material each turn with this card, so please bear that in mind. And then one copy of number 60, Durgarus the Timeless. So this card has a few little effects, but you have to it has an effects that hinder you in a way. So you get to skip your next draw phase and draw 2 cards, but then you get to discard 1 card, which will then trigger your monsters. But you see what I mean? It's it's good for the turn you're on, bad for the next turn. So with this card, you're really going for the push. So it has a couple of effects where during your main phase, you get to skip your main phase 1 and special summon 1 monster from your graveyard in defense mode, your next main phase 1 by the way, and get a free monster in from your graveyard, which is really great. Or you can skip the battle phase on your next turn and also double the attack of 1 monster you control until the end phase. So if you do have that Numeron Dragon, you can double it. You can double the damage it's going to deal. Hope Harbinger. Heart Earth Dragon. Again, you cheese this card out via Dragobon, and also because it's a number monster, you're mainly going to use this card to attach it to either Hope Harbinger or Numeron Dragon. By all means, you can actually summon this card if you want to. It's basically an Xyz version of Yubel, where it can't be destroyed in battle. Your opponent takes any battle damage you would, and during each of your opponent's end phases, they have to banish all cards they control. So that's kind of great. Or I should say banish all cards that were normal or summoned or were set. So it doesn't even work on face down cards as well. So and so it really comes in handy to kind of like wipe your opponent's board. Again, and mainly you're going to use this to go into like attach it to your other 2 numbers, but you can summon it. Then Dragoban, 2 level 8. This card cannot be targeted with card effects, gives it a little bit of protection. You can use 1 overlay unit to target 2 number dragon monsters in your extra deck. You summon out one of them, and the other one gets attached to a monster via an overlay. It gets attached to it. So, for instance, if you summon out Numeron Dragon, you have to choose either Hope Harbinger or Heart Earth and attach it to Numeron Dragon. Again, the reason why we have like Heart Earth is because you don't want to lose that Hope Harbinger, so you can still summon Hope Harbinger, and then you can still sub-special cheese out the Numeron Dragon with Dragoban. The only downside is with Dragoban, the monster that you special summon with it is the only monster that can attack for that turn, so please bear that in mind. Then 1 copy of Tornado Dragon is basically an MST in monster form. Because a quick effect, you get to attach one exceeded material, target 1 spell trap in the field and destroy it. Basically an MST. Going on to some links, we are choosing the 1 copy of Appaloosa, which is basically a constant on-field monster negate. So Appaloosa will gain 800 attack points for each of the materials you use for it, and once per chain, so you can use this effect during many times as you want. You can make Appaloosa lose 800 attack, and then it can negate a monster effect. So if you used 3 monsters summon Appaloosa, you get 3 monster negates. If you use 2 monsters, you'll get 2. If you had 3, you get 3. I am thinking of taking out maybe Skull Dread or maybe the Link Spider, and then adding in Mech Knight Avamax, but you don't have to. Then 1 copy of Bowl Sword, one of the best links. It cannot be destroyed in battle. You can target 1 monster on the field, swap it from attack to defense. Bowl Sword can attack twice. That has a quick effect, so you can do it during your opponent's turn for a little bit of like defensive play. And if Bowl Sword attacks into a monster, it gains half that monster's attack, and that monster will lose half its attack. 1 copy of IP Masquerena. Basically, it's there again if you're going first and you want to disrupt your opponent, because during your opponent's main phase, you can immediately link summon using this card, and the monster link summon with it cannot be destroyed by card effects. It actually gives the monster a little bit of protection. So if you went into Avamax, it makes it a really powerful monster and really annoying to get over. That's why I'm thinking of maybe adding that in. But you're basically going to use IP Masquerena with any of your monsters to crawl into Nightmare Unicorn, because Nightmare Unicorn, upon being link summoned, can bounce 1 card your opponent has on the field back to their hand. So if they use their normal summon, you just use IP Masquerena, link summon into Unicorn. Unicorn will just bounce their normal summon back to their hand. Boom, they've used their normal summon, pretty much disrupting their entire play. Really comes in handy. You have to discard a card to activate Unicorn's ability, and that just gives a plus for you. And then Link Spider, the reason why I'm running this is because Phantom Skyblast generates tokens. You use the token, summon a Link Spider to give you an effect monster. So that effect monster you basically use to crawl into either Barrel Sword Dragon, or because it has a monster with a different name, you can use it to go into Appaloosa. It's the main reason you do it. But again, if you want to take out Link Spider to go into and add in Avamax, by all means go for it. And then 1 copy of Skull Dread Sayuja. Sayuja, guys, has effects based on how many link materials you use. If you use 2, a normal special monster to a card this card points to will gain 300 extra attack. If you use 3, you get special monster from your hand. If you use 4 monsters, you get to draw 4 cards and then place 3 of them from your hand back into the deck. So again, it's just there to just draw cards, maybe get that key card you wanted, and then you just extend your combo plays from there. And that's pretty much the deck, guys. As I say, this deck is the only reason I made this deck is because, again, I used it for my deck for my duel with Joe, and yeah, I haven't made the Chris on that deck, guys, because I've been very busy. So that'll be the next one, and I haven't made a video for a while, so this will just tide you over till I get that Chris on deck, which shouldn't shouldn't be long now. So I do apologise on that. I've been very busy, very busy. It's really annoying me. So I do apologise on that. If you enjoyed this deck, guys, hit that thumbs up. Really helps the channel grow, and I get to see if you enjoy this deck or not. If you have any questions about this deck or any like improvements you want to make, let me know. I'm more than happy to improve any of my decks, because at the end of the day, we all want to make the best decks we possibly can. And with that, guys, wherever you are in the world, please take care and stay safe. Goodbye.
強がりの裏側に弱さは隠してた。逃げないよこれからは。もう一度あの空へ。作り上げても壊してまた作って何百回も上げれ投げ。でも負けるたびに乗れすぎてた。認められたくて空回って強がり見せたところで、それじゃ自分が嬉しくなるだけじゃない。行こうか It's time to wake up。 目を覚ますな強さはメーカー。 Forget the fear and doubt you gotta body it up。 いつかバチかさアンスも不確か。しゃダメなんて壊せファー